Alright. Moving into our next game. The map is Aztec. Our players, Flo versus iT.Deuce. And let me just update the overlay and everything. Okay, I think I got everything right. So, map Aztec. I've seen a lot of PVTs on this map. It's interesting. Apparently, Protosses and Terrans feel really good on this map. It's not a bad map for ZVP, because typically you can take your 2/3 of the map, play that sort of standard 3 base, 3 hatch into 5 hatch play, SimCity or Naturals and all that good stuff. But Zerg does definitely have to be worried about facing a Terran opponent on this map, because again, there's the high ground right above your natural. So an early expanding Zerg definitely has to be worried about that. Any sort of dropship play, very potent. In the meantime, though, we do see Flo. He just doing his normal thing. Looks like he's got 3 guys on gas. Everything looks standard. And, ooh, interesting, going Zealot before Core. So Deuce here looking to get maybe a little bit aggressive, potentially going to Reaver play. We'll see how it turns out. Flo here, he's got 100 gas now. And it looks like he takes 1 guy off gas, but not the second one. So he's going to be mining with 2 guys on gas, and we'll have to see where he goes from this. We saw him play on Aztec last time too, didn't we? I seem to remember this. And, I think he did the same sort of thing. But yeah, we'll have to see how this turns out. Now, another Zealot, actually, he's going 2 Zealots before. Well, I think he got his core, but he's definitely going to open it with 2 Zealots. Banking a lot of gas at the moment as he can't spend it. But we'll see what kind of damage he gets done here. The probe is still alive and has a fairly decent shield count. So this could be pretty good for Deuce, as the probe is definitely a huge boon to have when you're harassing these Marines. And back in Flo's base, he's got the little SimCity, but it's not next to his factory. Of course, now this Zealot harassment hitting a little bit late, so the factory's already done. And now, oh, probe getting that Marine kill. And we'll see how many SCVs he gets if he does decide to go for the SCVs. Looks like at the moment he's just camping the other side of the SimCity with his probe and moving in with the Zealot, but the Zealot's taking a lot of damage. And very nice micro by Flo, bringing in 2 SCVs to really seal the deal there. But there is 1 more Zealot coming in. The Marines very weak at the moment. All of them are only 2 hits away from death. And looks like, oh man, losing a single SCV to that probe again. And looks like he might lose another Marine. Yes, he does. Losing his Marine force. This could be a little bit bad for him. He's going to be a bit weak to any early pressure, and it looks like in the background, Deuce here, he's added a 2nd gateway, getting his range. Definitely going to look to put on a lot of pressure. In the meantime, Flo has actually gotten a starport. So probably looking to do drops, but it's not going to work out too well if he was looking to do some sort of siege drop on his opponent. But he is actually getting mines and moving out with a sort of a FD-esque push, but he's lost a lot of Marines, so it doesn't really have any sort of punch to it. And interesting, Flo here, he's got a SCV in the bottom right corner. I don't think he ever scouted his opponent. Just now realizing that his opponent must be in the 8 o'clock-ish position. It looks like he actually almost losing that Dragoon here. It's pretty huge. And the bad thing here, though, is that Flo is chasing it very far. If the other Dragoons had come up the small ramp behind this, he could have forces ravaging his main. Could be very damaging to him, but looks like the 3 Dragoons, they've met back up together and looking like he might come in to attack, but just holding off for now. In the meantime, Deuce, he's gotten his Nexus as natural, and he's actually up to 4 gates very, very quickly, but not building anything out of them because he doesn't really have the economy just yet, and looks like he's losing his Dragoons, losing 2 now, and looks like he might take out, no, definitely not, losing a 3rd Dragoon as well. He actually might lose all 4. This is actually really huge. Flo definitely taking a good trade there, as I think he traded maybe 2 Vultures and like a Marine for all that. Very, very, very good for him. In the meantime, he has gotten his dropship. He lost all of his Vultures though, and that was really, I think, what he was intending on dropping. So the dropship is just gonna have to hang out for now. Not really gonna be able to do anything. Robotics now on the way for Deuce. We'll have to see how quickly he gets his shuttle, or if he just goes observer tech. Because, you know, if Flo does get his siege mode up and drop some tanks behind this natural, it could be very dangerous for Deuce. But in the meantime, that's not going to happen just yet. And Flo adding on a 2nd factory, getting another Vulture. Starport now just sitting idle, and that's always a downside to going for really fast drops. You typically don't need more than 1 dropship this early in the game. It's just kind of a waste of money. So the starport really does nothing for a good deal of time now. Looks like this drop's moving out. Deuce, I don't think he's really going to be in a good position to really stop it, although this SCV drawing the forces into the main a bit, which is definitely not something you want to do. Looks like observers now coming out for Deuce. This dropship just sort of idling over here, just hanging out for now. Maybe he wants to wait until he's sure that his opponent's moved out on the map, just sort of keeping these hidden for the time being, which is not a terrible strategy. As his expansion's not that much later than his opponent's, it's not really a terrible timing for him. He's not really too behind. So, looks like though he does not have a lot of SCVs. He must have cut a good deal of SCVs to get his early build out. And it looks like he did drop his Vultures into the main, and they're coming in to lay some mines near the ramp. And I don't think they're, they might get, no, they don't get a single probe kill. And he lays 2 mines, but there's already an observer hanging out there. He's going to get a couple of probe kills now, but definitely not as many as he would have liked, and not as many as he could have gotten. Definitely a good idea to lay the mines there to delay the forces coming from the natural, but it just didn't work out for him this time. 3 kills on these Vultures, and now Dragoon's coming in. Gotta clean up the Vultures. Now, where did that dropship go? It did survive. That's excellent. Excellent for Flo. As does he have siege mode? He's just now starting siege mode, so it's a bit of a dangerous time for him. His siege tank count is very low. He's got a lot of Vultures, but his opponent does have observers and ranged Dragoons. So if Deuce moves out, he could do a good push against... oh man, he's actually loading up 2 Vultures in a siege tank. He's leaving himself almost completely defenseless here. This is really dangerous. And Deuce is not looking like he's going to attack anytime soon, though. So he's going to be completely fine, I believe. But it definitely made a very risky move. Looks like actually... Deuce investing in a single cannon in his main as well, playing this very, very defensively, and actually a cannon in his natural mineral line too, and very early forge fell +1 attack. This just feels a little bit weird from Deuce, not typically what we would see, but it looks like the dropship actually still has 1 Vulture, and the siege tank getting 5 kills, it looks like. I think some of those were actually from earlier in the game, but getting a couple probes, and the Vulture getting some probes as well before they do get cleaned up. Now, in the meantime, looks like that dropship did die to this cannon, but the Vulture is getting a couple more probe kills as well. Looks like he's going to get 3 before he dies, so he does some decent economic harassment, and he really needed to do that because his SCV count has been fairly low, just now getting up to some decent levels. And looks like he's got a starport, still doing nothing at the moment. So we'll have to see what Flo's game plan is from here. He's banked a lot of gas. So, yeah, he definitely does not need his natural gas right now. He could probably pull all those guys off of it. And we'll have to see if he adds more factories, looks to expand, who knows. A lot of vultures out on the map, but it looks like they're going to get caught by these goons. At the same time, though, this does let Flo know that there are these goons moving out across the map towards his base. He's going to have to look to defend it pretty soon here. Big vulture run by going in by Flo. And they're now, looks like they're not going to penetrate too deeply into Deuce's defenses here, but he does lay a single mine, a couple mines now. And the goons coming back to clean this up, no problem. So this vulture harassment not doing too much, and it's definitely an investment that is not paying back for Flo. And let's see here, the tech situation. Arbiter's nowhere in sight. He does have this. Wow, excuse me. This camera work is getting really terrible here. I'm very tired. The tech here, he might have Zelt leg speed. Didn't see. But he definitely doesn't have his archives or a Stargate on the way, and he doesn't really have the gas, as he still hasn't taken his natural gas to really go into Arbiter play. So he's just gonna have a really heavy gateway army for now. Looks like, actually, you know what? That dropship did survive. Interesting. And looks like Flo here, he's looking to take his mineral only expansion. This is probably gonna work out for him, as Deuce does not seem like he enjoys attacking things. He's very passive, which I can understand because Terran defense is OP, but you know, get some speed zealots, he'll be fine. Looks like just mining up some more of the map. This is very good play by Flo, as he's getting very decent map control. These mines are going to let him know when the Protoss moves out and where he is on the map, as well as defending against any sort of counterattacks or split pushes. Typically, the Protoss player does forget to bring an observer with his secondary push, and could lose a good number of Dragoons if he does. So it looks like actually Flo, he might be looking to come in with these vultures, and actually he avoids the small ramp, but that leads him right into his opponent's Dragoons. And these vultures just need to hightail it out of here, as Deuce, he's doing a pretty damn good job of defending what he has right now. But I feel like he might be a bit behind here with this mineral only expansion. Would definitely want to get a gas base if I were him. Looks like he's adding a couple more gateways. He's up to 6 and he's going to be at 8 very, very soon. And Flo here, I think he's a bit suspicious. He's like, why doesn't my opponent have like a third base, like a third gas? But losing a good number of Dragoons there, or excuse me, Zealots, and losing a single Dragoon. And so I think that's a pretty decent trade. He's taken a lot of punch out of this push. Zealot's very critical to tank damage, and I don't think Deuce is going to be able to accomplish too much against this excellent SimCity by Flo. Tank's in a fairly good position, although very, very dangerous mine placements at the moment. Would like to see him kill those off, and actually it looks like Deuce is going to take this gas expansion in the top left. That's not a bad idea. Flo is definitely positioning himself to take the right side of the map, and I think that base will go largely unscouted and fairly easily defended by Deuce. And it looks like Flo here, he's got 2 dropships actually now. Not doing anything at the moment with them. His upgrade situation looks like he's just starting +1 attack actually. His upgrade's fairly late, but he does have his third base now, and actually he's getting 1-1. Not bad for him. He still banks a ton of gas, so would like to see him spend that. Definitely the upgrades is one way. Getting his science vessels now as well. Looks like some vultures looking like they want to move out across the map, but running into some Dragoons, taking heavy losses. Yeah, not working out so well there for Flo, but taking a couple units down with him, so it's not. In the end, it ends up being not too bad. Looks like he's lost all those mines in the middle of the map, basically, except for these little small patch over here. And interesting. So Flo, or excuse me, Deuce, he positioned this Dragoon on the ramp to prevent any sort of vulture harass coming in here, and looks like he forgot about it. So it's a bit of a J-Dong syndrome, but luckily it's just here and it's not in his main/natural ramp. Looks like he stopped at +1 with that forge. Not looking to get any more attack upgrades at the moment. Alright, so supplies here, we got 132 to 142. Terran here, he's feeling pretty good about this, and looks like Flo actually loading up with 3 siege tanks, not quite filling up those drop ships, but this could be good. There is 1 zealot here, and a cannon too. He's got to be very careful that he doesn't lose that damaged dropship. Actually, where the heck did they go? There they are. He doesn't want to lose that damaged dropship, as it does have 2 tanks in it, and it's on point. So it's definitely very vulnerable. And there's a cannon here as well, and interesting, dropping on the other side of the cannons. This is going to work out very well for him. He doesn't quite siege up his tanks just yet, though, and the probes actually coming in. He's going to want to unsiege these probably almost immediately, or at least a couple. He might leave 1 sieged. And some vultures, actually very nice moves by Flo. He's moving over some vultures to assist in this drop, delay any sort of attacking forces. And then on the other hand, DeSPA, he's just moving in for the counterattack. But this is not a good position to go up. It's a high ground advantage for the Terran, but a lot of speedlings closing in with the tanks. And there are some tanks in the background. I think Flo might just barely hold this, as his reinforcements are nearby. Looks like on the other hand, DeSPA did lose a good number of probes, though he finally does clean up that drop. And now some vultures here trying to take on the Dragoons by themselves, but there's no way they're going to be able to handle that many Dragoons. He really needs to move his tanks up to help out. He's losing a good number of SCVs here, and this is really helping DeSPA out. He definitely didn't need a fight with these SCVs, I don't think, but oh man, a huge flood of zealots coming in for DeSPA, and this is looking very good for him, as the vultures didn't lay any more mines, and the siege tank count fairly low. He's losing a lot of stuff here macro wise. He's got a lot of units coming, but not enough factories, I don't think. DeSPA here, I think he's still at his 8 gates. He might be at even more now. He's losing a lot of SCVs at his 3rd. This is critical. He did manage to get that +1 armor for his tanks before this base is going to fall here, but it's just really a huge blow to his economy. And he did manage to hurt his opponent's economy a bit, but I think he really he can't afford to lose this base. But looks like actually in the end he's going to clean up. And looks like DeSPA, he's trying to stream up this this small ramp here, but the Dragoon is getting caught and just hanging out, blocking up the zealots. And it looks like, I think Flo is going to get here to defend in time, but some zealots do manage to get up the ramp. If he doesn't lose them, oh man, takes a lot of damage from that mine. And closing with the tanks again. DeSPA here, he's just slowly whittling down his Terran opponent. He now has 30 supply advantage over Flo. And Flo, his siege tanks are dropping like flies. Looks like he might lose 1 more. No. Oh, very, very close there. SCVs almost save it with the repair. And just 1 Dragoon left. Now what I would like to see from DeSPA is just hold back just a little bit and gather maybe 2 waves of reinforcements from his gateways before moving in. At the same time, though, this expansion is very open right here, and he's going to have a good opportunity to do some more damage to those SCVs. It looks like these 2 Dragoons getting a little bit lost, but now DeSPA, he's moving in again. Excuse me. And these vultures, though, they're in a better position. He does lose a couple of tanks, but the good vulture production from Flo looks like he's probably going to be able to hold this. He's taking a lot of damage, though, a lot of shenanigans going on. And he still has these 2 dropships over here, hanging out, actually, as it were. And let's see the tech situation here. He's got a lot of gates, 8, 10 gates it looks like, but no Arbiter tech as of yet. So in the tech department, he's a little bit behind, but he's got his opponent on the back foot. So if he can keep the Terran down here and really continue to just shove it down his throat, then it could be quite good for him. But he is taking a couple mine hits now. The Zealot's moving in, but there's only 2 tanks. This is really bad. And now there's this huge window for DeSPA to come in here and harass this 3rd again. And SCV's now coming out to fight, but he's going to lose a ton of them again, just like before. He's losing a lot of SCVs. His economy really can't take this. He's got almost no SCVs as natural, almost no SCVs as main. Dropship coming in, hanging out, just sort of watching everybody die below her. And wow, okay, so DeSPA here, he's playing very aggressively, and Flo, he just can't quite stabilize. It's just very difficult for him. Flo also very low on minerals. He's very high on gas. This is pretty typical for TVP. You tend to bank a good amount of gas, but Given that he's only on 2 gas, this is it's a bit excessive, I think. Looks like he's got some mines down. He actually might be able to hold this, but again, there's just so few siege tanks, and wow, a huge number of vultures getting taken out by their own mines, and looks like he's whittling down that zealot count fairly well. And wow, nice. Okay, I think he's actually might be able to hold this out. There's actually even more zealots in the back that I didn't see, and Flo definitely taking some damage here, trading armies, and Deuce, he's in a decent position, gathering up a good amount of reinforcements and then coming in, and he basically did what I suggested he do, and just wait until he had 2 rounds of forces. And it looks like Flo, I don't think he can continue to hold, as these zealots now streaming down his up his narrow ramp and into his natural, and he's taking a ton of damage, and he's only got 3 tanks at the moment. Some vultures coming out. He's got to reposition his tanks, but looks like no. Deuce actually is just going to go straight for the kill, taking out these tanks. And very cool by Deuce. Just very aggressive strategy. Screw Arbiter, screw Tech Man. He don't need that. And just going for that huge gateway army. And looks like Flo just goes ahead and GG's. Realizes he can't hold. Very intense game.